Live. This, as always, of course, is the podcast of darkness. This is Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, of course. And many of you ask about the proton pack. I put it here to hide all the wires because I will have a monitor running once some of my guests show up. Just doing a short impromptu podcast today. Just talking about any range of topics that you all want to address or would like to talk about. So you may see me pop over here because I have a monitor for my computer sitting right here. So when I do have guests from the podcast, they will appear on screen. Hopefully this idea works. We'll find out one way or the other. But as always, welcome to the podcast of darkness. If you want, we can start out with some questions and Q&A if you want. So feel free to say howdy and hey and drop a message in a line. I'm getting ready, just doing some impromptu setup with everything. You know how that kind of thing goes. My Discord server is down below, along with my GoFundMe if you want to help support the channel and help me out with some stuff that's going on in my life. But it's all right down there. Links are nice, easy, and short. The GoFundMe is first, and the Discord is just down below. That's better. Now my room is facing the right way. Doesn't seem like much of a big deal, but it is when it's not. So just seeing if anybody's on here other than Echo. I think, let me see what this says about me. No viewers yet. We're just waiting and building up audience, of course. As usual. Usually it takes an hour or so. My main guard's a little loose. Hey, welcome to the podcast of darkness. Just waiting on some additional audience members and people to join in. As I was saying earlier, the proton pack is here to cover up wires and stuff. This already looks like a jumble of wires, so it helps mask all that. The monitor's here for when the guests come on, so you guys can actually see them for a change. I got smart. I just don't know how well this is going to work. We'll find out. But anyways, stay tuned, and we'll be podcasting shortly. Feel free to use the live chat, drop Q&A, keep it decent. I'm going to keep an eye on it. If you guys get out of hand, insta-ban. I'm not even playing today. But welcome to the show. So. Just posting to Facebook so I can get some more views in here. But hey, I see you watching. So I'm not sure if you're somebody I know or not, but you can definitely use the live chat feature. So feel free to do so. And yeah, I got my bunny ears on. Hello, other viewer that just popped in. Welcome to the show. This, of course, is the podcast, The Darkness. Proton Pack is here to hide some wires and stuff for the monitor setup for when I have guests pop on, so that they appear right beside me, so you guys can see them instead of just hearing them. And I hope I have the screen adjusted just right. We'll find out the hard way. Well, I guess experimentation's not the hard way. More trial and error. Just tagging friends and whatnot. Making sure they're aware that, hey, we're live here. So if they want to join in and chat, they can. Things of that nature. And you guys are welcome to chat. I know there's a couple of you watching right now on YouTube, and there's a few of you watching right now on the PlayStation Network, because I stream to both. So feel free to say hey and hi. And yeah. So, and I've got the screen all set up, so it's the right way or the wrong way, depending on how you want to look at it. I gotta get rid of this keyboard real quick, so it'll take me like 2 seconds here, guys. So, be right back. I'm just tagging people right now as we speak. So, trying to get a decent audience and people going. If you want to interact by all means, please. So I can kill time until people decide to show. Such as life. So. Everybody's got their family stuff going on, so I hope you had a happy holiday. I know for some of you, your holiday was last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But for me, I'm non-denominational of any type, so it's just a holiday. I happen to have off from work until tomorrow night, so yay, and I'm back to working again. Fortunately, it won't pay to take care of any of the problems I'm talking about down here. But if you can help out, even if you only got a quarter to lend, to help out. I also have merch available, things of that nature if you want something more physical. The OnlyFans is available through the Discord server as well as in the description of the video, so by all means check out all of that. And with the OnlyFans, there are obviously additional perks, so hit it up by all means. So, and yeah. But on Spreadshirt, I have t-shirts, mugs, any product that they have. The logo's there. I'm getting ready to add Army of Darkness stuff as well, so definitely look into that. If such things butters your bread, so. But the logo shirt is available. Just tagging people on Facebook, waiting for a bigger audience. I see my one single watcher just watching. That's okay. It's one view. Yay. And by the end of the night, whatever views I have, YouTube will take away anyways. They always cut it in half because they don't count the PlayStation Network ones or the other ones, which I think is stupid. So, but it is what it is. I'm just going through tagging people on my Facebook to see who would be remotely interested in joining in. So that's how I usually do this stuff. And it's worked so far and so well. So. With the phone on my face, I'm all blown out. Sorry about that. Just inviting the old people in system. It never works out because it creates a lot of animosity in the horror community, and I'd rather not be a part of it. I'd rather say mm-mm and clean my hands of it than not. But that's just me. Just putting in stuff, like I said, for YouTube. So. On Facebook right now, so that's closed. Let me do Insta. I know I got something for Insta. Oh, 2 more viewers. Hello, welcome to the Podcast of Darkness. I'm Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, a horror hostess. So yeah. Right now it's not broadcasting gameplay, but you'll still get audio. Have the Proton Pack here because of, simply put, it hides all the wires and stuff from the monitor and everything else from my hookup and my setup. So I got a microphone here, my controller, got a little mouse pad with a Nuka Break mouse pad going on. So yeah, and right now I'm just setting up. If you want to, I can do a brief Q&A because this is impromptu, you know. I don't have one of those, Lumser. You want in? You ready to double dutch? Did you see my links? Let me post to Insta real quick, and then I will get you on the ball here. You get to be our first guinea pig, Chris. Two seconds. Hopefully nobody gets that much of a show. hear you. It's ringing in on your side still.
I gotta lower my volume, that's all.
Okay, cool beans. Anyways, this is Christopher Lumser. He's from the Long Coat Mafia podcast, the most hated podcast in West by God, and hopefully at some point the world. Christopher, you get a chance to look at the links?
No, I just fired everything up now, so...
Yeah, I can see me, I can't see you.
I don't have my camera on.
Oh, okay. Well, that defeats the purpose of what I was trying to do.
What, you want me to have camera on for a moment?
Well, no, I've got at least a visual here, so I can. I've got a monitor here. I've been playing with it. I guess it's under color settings. No, not color settings. Oh, this is going to drive me up the wall. Is it OSD settings? That's vertical and horizontal. Image settings. Aha, aha, aha. Maybe.
Aha. Aha.
I'm trying to find the brightness and the darkness.
Embrace the dark side.
Well, your camera's not the greatest, so it's not really showing up here, at least on the monitor. My monitor's too bright.
Well, I don't have the best. I'm not using my portable camera as a webcam. It's just a laptop camera.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I was just experimenting today to see if I can make this work. But anyways, normally you'd be able to see him. But instead you get the white screen of death. At least on my end, that's what it looks like. But anyways, so did you manage to watch Zilla vs. Kong yet?
Yes.
Thoughts?
And the Snyder Cut.
So thoughts?
Briefly.
About Zilla vs. Kong?
I kind of enjoyed it a little bit.
I did too. I really liked it. I actually have already watched it 3 times. One of...
Did you hear in regards to what Toho said about the movie?
Oh boy. That can't be good. What did they say?
They pretty much stated that the only issue that they seem to have a problem with, I didn't get a chance to read the whole article, is that Godzilla seemed to show some emotion, and Godzilla doesn't really show emotion at all.
Oof. Yeah. Huh. I mean, he just seemed angry and defending his territory. I didn't get the whole emotional aspect, in all honesty, so... Again, that's just me, so... Hard to say. How's the camera lined up on my end, on your side? Because I'm looking at my screen instead of your screen.
If you... Look at your chest for a second.
Okay.
I can't see... now I'll look back up.
Okay.
I can't see your ears.
Oh.
The bunny ears.
Everything else.
Above,
yeah.
Everything above your bangs, I cannot see.
Okay, well that's fine. As long as you can see a face. That's all that matters.
Okay.
But yeah. I was just playing with the camera and getting everything adjusted, and yeah. I actually have... You know how you got the bar PlayStation 4 camera? I have a webcam mounted to the bar of the PlayStation 4 camera at the moment, because in my experimentation I found out that it only uses one of the cameras, and it's the one to the far left as you're facing the camera. It does not use the one to the right.
I just had something funky happen with my system. Meaning, everything went kind of dark for a second,
Yeah.
and came back. And I have no idea. It sounded like something disconnected and reconnected. I don't know what it was.
I didn't hear anything on my end, so it's hard to say.
It was on my end.
Yeah, it has to be on your end, because I didn't pick it up. But yeah, George might pop in later, because I just pretty much threw the invite out. If you go to my page, and I think I tagged you in it, let me see if I can't pull it back up real quick. But I put a couple different links out there. And of course I closed my Facebook while doing this. How bad is it when I put this up to my face on that camera? Is it all whited out? No? Like it doesn't cause any issue?
See what?
Like if I put my phone up to my face, does it white out on the camera that you're seeing for...
No.
No, okay. It's only the...
I still see you.
Okay. It's only the PlayStation camera. Groovy. I should really up that up to HD, but I'm afraid about how bad it's going to lag. Like, I know it's going to be a lag. I know it's going to chug. We already had one drop, but it didn't, like, drop the image. It just took the 360p and turned it into, like, just a little bit lower of a setting. So... such is life. We'll find these links. But yeah, it trips me out that the camera on the one side does not work. So, I'm not sure what that's used for. I imagine it's used for tracking movement if you're playing a 3D game. But I usually don't use it for that, so I'm not too worried about it. It might wreak havoc with my Alien playthroughs, rather, because that uses the camera for sound and video as well.
Well, okay. I sounded distracted. Just that I pulled up what I have to kind of edit for later. Turns out all I have to do is edit a intro and a outro because well. Everything's been pre-edited, so to speak.
I found my list. So you got Marvel postponing Predator. The Predator comic series and all the crossovers they have planned. Because there was a bunch of covers, I don't know if you saw that, of Marvel characters duking it off with the Predator. And now that's all been postponed. The reprints seem to be coming along nicely. And I'm just curious if the postponement is due to... because before, basically, Dark Horse stopped doing Aliens and Predator comic, they did the script version of Alien, like the original script, based on the original designs and based on the original idea before we became the movie that we know. And it was a beautiful comic, because it kind of gave you what it would look like through somebody else's eyes making that as a film, but as a comic book. And very different, but it was still quite a good comic. And Predator was going to do the same thing, except it would have been called Hunter, because that was the original, title for it. Because a bunch of studio execs were like, well, we don't like the phrase Hunter, we want it to be called Predator, that sounds cooler. And of course, with the most recent, the Predator movie, they kind of made a joke about that, because essentially it was originally going to be called The Hunter instead of Predator. But they didn't like the phrase The Hunter. They were like, no, we want Predator, and people were trying to explain it's not really a predator-prey relation, it's more of a hunter. Anyway. But they were going to do the comic called The Hunter, and it basically, I don't know how far it got with Dark Horse. Dark Horse completely dropped the ball. Because, of course, Marvel transition happened, where they picked up the license. So, I'm not sure if that's something they're going to continue or not. I know you just got the Alien comic. What'd you think about the Alien comic?
Yeah, I have to read it.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
It just sounds so good. It does, just based on the premise. And I hope they do something with, like, Marvel, like, involving Alien. I just don't know how, depending on how they're going to match up the timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that they can, and if not, I wouldn't mind seeing it in the 2099 world. That would be more feasible. But of course, all the canon's getting a shoot anyways, so if you really liked Covenant, Prometheus, as well as Alien Resurrection, Alien 3, they gone. When the series hits, the only films that exist anymore is Alien and Aliens, and I am all for that. I'm beyond happy to hear that. I'm beyond happy to hear that they basically told Ridley Scott where he can stick it, because it was more a Walter Hill project in the script than it was Ridley Scott's. You know what I mean? Yes, Ridley Scott was the original director of the first film, but it's not his baby. It was Walter Hill's. Once Walter died, Ridley did whatever he wanted. That has me a little mad. It's kind of like one of the reasons why, you know, it sucks that what happened with his brother. I'm quite sure you heard about that, because his brother was responsible for Top Gun. And before his brother's passing, he basically created a company with his brother to try to get all the assets to the movies that his brother made, including Top Gun, hence why we're getting a Maverick. And I just don't know how I feel about that, you know? Like, there's some movies that just don't need sequels. There are some...
Well, that's the thing now, that they want to do sequels. Sequels to movies that are, like, 15, 20, if not 30 years old.
Yep. Yeah, it's just odd. And you've got, what is it called, Evil Dead Rise, that's getting ready to come out here soon.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's a sequel without Ash, which I think is dumb. Did you see the April Fool's prank, speaking of Marvel?
No.
Okay, so Bruce Campbell shows a script from basically Doctor Strange 2, in the mouth of whatever it's called, the multiverse opening a portal, and in front of him is a cabin in the woods, and somebody bursts through the door from the cabin, and Doctor Strange is confronted by this very disheveled and blood-covered man, and who's oddly missing an arm, which has been replaced with a chainsaw. And Strange asks him about this mysterious tome that he's looking for. And of course the guy's like, does it have a face on it? Because if it does, I'm not interested. And Bruce Campbell shared the script online, like the little fake page for his April Fool's Day prank. I'm kind of like, I kind of want that as a bonus feature now, as an actual shot scene, just Ash showing up in the Marvel Universe. Because, believe it or not, Ash already has. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it was part of when they were doing... when was it? I think it was like the Marvel Zombies event or something like that.
Yep. It was during that. In fact, he had his whole run. In fact, there was a comics cover where it took that one famous X-Men cover. I think it's with Wolverine and Jubilee, and it shows all the dead X-Men on it. But instead it shows all the dead zombie Marvel characters behind it. It's Ash Williams protecting, I think it's Gwen Stacy, because she's like one of the survivors in Marvel versus Zombies.
And they go to Dr. Doom's lair to find the Necrocron. I can never say the book's name right.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
Yeah. And him and the book have a conversation. He's like, well, this is all you're doing. He's like, no, this ain't my doing. This is something from outer space and out of the dimension. I wish it was me.
Yeah, but it's just so cool to see that Bruce Campbell did a prank on that. And it's like, oh, come on, I hate April Fools. I really do. Like, I stay off of YouTube during it. I stay off of all major media.
The thing is, I hate Facebook right now I hate meaning that Facebook will give you stuff from like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still bring up that type of stuff. And the thing is, like, it'll have a post of yours, per se.
Mm-hmm.
It could be just a picture of you. I'll see it 3 times in a minute. Within a minute, I'll see that same photo. And it could be posted up like 5 minutes ago. Same photo. It's like, how many times is Facebook, are you trying to show me Sasha's photo? I already seen the motherfucker.
Yep. Yeah. It is what it is. It's just trying to show you, like, whatever is popular or moving. You can set it and change it. I think there's a setting for it, so you don't have to deal with that. You know? I'm just trying to remember how to do it, and I can't for the life of me. So, it is what it is. You know? But yeah. You get into anything interesting for the holiday today?
I worked all day.
Yeah, I go back tomorrow, and I'm not sure why, because the business I work for was closed on Friday. We worked Thursday late, so nobody should have been in there Friday and over the weekend, because there was no sporting events or anything of that nature going on. And nobody's supposed to be in there tomorrow, but yet we're going in, and I'm like, okay. I've already completely redone all of the floors up in my section, plus scrubbed every surface down. I mean, I can do it again. I can find something to do, or I can hop down to another floor, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, it was hard to find stuff to do, like, because on Thursday they only had us work like 6 hours, which was kind of cool. It was nice, because they're like, hey, they're leaving early on Thursday, so you can work early on Thursday. So we're having you come in early and leave early. So instead of working 3 to 11, you're coming in from 1 and leaving at 7:30. And I felt so bad because the boss was like, hey, yeah, it's close to 7:30. You guys can go ahead and go. But as soon as he said that, apparently there was an issue with, like, the mid-floor toilets, and they just started overflowing after everybody punched out. And I hadn't punched out yet, and I'm like, do you want me to stay? Because I can stay and give you a hand. I just got to figure out a way to call my ride. And he's like, I'm not doing that to you. I said, yeah, but you're going to want an extra body. He's like, at this point, I'm getting OT. I don't care. The maintenance guy had to get called in. He was none too happy, but it is what it is, But yeah, I felt bad because I'm like, I really don't want to leave you here by yourself. He's like, I'd say shit happens, and in this case, it did. So, fun. Hopefully, stuff isn't too bad on that floor when I show up on tomorrow. We'll see. We shall see. I'm just trying to figure out why we're even there tomorrow, and hopefully there is people there. And then
I just know that tomorrow I got me a doctor's appointment, and I start con prep tomorrow. With some of it.
Okay. Well, I've already got a huge box full of hand sanitizer for it. Me and the kiddo, we actually relabeled all the hand sanitizer today, so it's all got my branding. It's all got my links on it as well. So I'm like, hey, nobody else in the con seems to want to try to make people safe, aside from us, of course.
Right.
I'm going to take advantage of that. Somebody brings me a box of hand sanitizer and says to me, hey, this is the first box. I'm going to bring you 2 or 3 more, plus some masks, plus some other party supplies that you can hand out, plus some flyers. I'm going to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's free stuff.
Yeah, like I told you way back, a good many a times that if you put a box of, with everything, I was more than willing to hand out masks to whomever wanted one, or anything like that. So,
well,
that way it's...
That's how I got that one organization.
But you know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. And that's how I got that one organization involved. Because you notice they were added to the roster of panels. I don't know if you caught that in the email or not. But they're helping with the mental health one. And that's perfectly cool because that means both me and Eric can take a sideline, let them do their thing, and they're bringing out stuff that can be handed out as well. And I even suggested to them about bringing masks because they have somebody who works there that makes handmade masks, and I'm like, they want to give those out with a business card, by all means, please. You know what I mean? We'll take anything at this point to help with not only COVID, but like anything that's mental health related. Free pens, free notepads. I just have to see what kind of bag they bring me, So, yay. So it's definitely been productive.
And depending on the setup, I'm going to see if I could jerry-rig something, meaning how I'm...
Association of Franklin and Fulton County. If you ever hear me say MHA, that's what I'm talking about, the Mental Health Association. Because saying Mental Health Association of Franklin and Fulton County all day long gets a bit old, even when I work there. People didn't even know it existed because it's like such a small little like rinky-dink office building, which is like it's in a strip mall building that's across the parking lot from the place, the former Marines like to drink, the Marine Corps Attachment or whatever it's called, there in Chambersburg, just off of Grant Street. But they have a lot of resources for mental health and things of that nature. They also provide peer specialists. There's basically a warm line that's available. It's not a suicide or a crisis line. It's a line that, hey, I'm feeling lonely or I'm feeling depressed and I just need someone to talk to, or I had a real shit day and I just need someone to listen. That line is there, every day of the week, so Sunday through Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, from 5 to 10 p.m., and it's a great service because, granted, a lot of people who call are the elderly. Even though they have a senior reach program for them, they still call us. Some of them, unfortunately, take advantage of the system and call more than what they should. But there are people who genuinely call us.
Sasha, I know you're promoting a wonderful cause. I can't fault that. I just wanted to let you know it's that if I'm recording all this,
yeah,
and you're part of the panels, I don't mind leaving the camera there because you are there and I trust you with the equipment. And instead of me just wandering back to the booth to do promotion there, it's as simple as, my panel's done. Stop recording on the camera and pull everything out and just wander with everything back to where I'm at, and I say thank you. It's not like I'm actually leaving the crap there that somebody could wander off and just, I'm out of camera.
Yep, no, I'm not going to let that happen. Because it's going to be, Jose and I working P&D's booth. And by the way, we're talking about the Waynesboro, Main Street Waynesboro Comic-Con, or whatever they're officially calling it now. But that's on this week, actually, April 9th and 10th. Downtown Waynesboro, right on Main Street, not too far from where they hold the farmers market. If you get a chance, check it out. But we'll be down there live. I'll be rocking my Ghostbusters gear and promoting the show and helping P&D with their sales and whatnot.
I'll be across. My new spot's across from you.
Okay, good. Now, is it the table that they tried to give me, or are you sitting right by P&D?
Pretty much I'm across the new, I'm sure you haven't seen the new maps. I could probably send them to you as soon as we're done, or, sometime before everything. The new maps is that, because Rebecca wanted the Wi-Fi, I'm going to pity where she's at, because she's going to be right in front of those bands, if that's where the bands are going to be.
Oh.
So, because she wants the Wi-Fi, she has a booth right in front of the park, and I have, in essence, her old spot between M&T Bank and I think the law firm that's there. So it's a way better spot than I was at, or at least it looks way better, and it's like right across, almost PND. I'm like catty corner between from where you and EPG
Okay.
booth is. So I'm in line of sight. In essence, I'm right across from Psycho Cinema.
Okay. Psycho Cinema.
Yeah, Psycho Cinema is going to be there.
That's news to me.
Apparently, it's going to be there. They're going to be there.
Okay. Who's that again?
They do the stuff at Alamo in Winchester.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, because I promoted it to them. So, yay. Yay. I'm glad that they came all the way up. So that's awesome. Oh, I get to spend the day with Faye and them. That's cool. Okay. That's freaking awesome. I mean, it's a haul, but I'm glad they're coming up, so. That is awesome. Awesome sauce. But yeah, again, we're talking about Main Street, Waynesboro, Comic-Con. This coming weekend, April 9th and April 10th. April 9th is for the kids from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Not sure what the game plan of that is because, again, information was limited. But we're more about the April 10th event because me and Chris have panels. I've got two. I don't know how many you got, Chris. Then you have the artist panels.
I got one. I got the one, and I will say this. For the folks at home, when I work cons, when I have a booth and record panels or anything like that, I usually do a episode concerning the event. And I'll say, Sasha, this is going to be, in essence, a working title for the event episode. It's pretty much going to be the wheels on the bus, all about the Waynesboro Comic-Con, a.k.a. the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Pretty much, because it has been a Charlie Foxtrot. And at this point, I'm like, this is all on Ashley. This is her baby at this point. I felt bad because Andrew from Comics World hit me up. And you'd saw in the chat before everything got closed down with the chat that everything was established for Andrew. Guess who wasn't contacted about anything?
Wait, which chat? The one that I was kicked out of?
Yeah, the one that the one I left and that you were kicked out of.
Everything that happened after that, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I just know.
Well, before that, I had let Whitney and them know, hey, Comics World wants in. Comics World wants to donate prizes to the events and the costume contest and all kinds of stuff. They want to help out. They want to promote. They've got that Comic-Con coming up in September, which is the weekend before they do their fall Comic-Con. It's a perfect time for them to promote not only their upcoming fall Comic-Con, but, maybe to announce the spring one for next year, which is awesome, and I'm glad to see them there, but nobody reached out to them as to where they're going to be, where anything is, and I got that message yesterday. And I'm like, who'd you get in touch with? Did you email back Whitney? I haven't heard anything back from Whitney. I was like, has Ashley even tried to email you and reach out to you? No. And I'm like, all right, I've kind of saw myself out on this, but let me go ahead and take the initiative and help you out, even though I'm not the one garnering a paycheck now for it. So let me do it. Let me take care of it for you. And I got that sorted, so I'm hoping everything's sorted and A-okay with my boys over at Comics World. But you know how that goes. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you saw either on my personal Facebook page or my show's page, I've been promoting the shop here by me, Engage. Great shop, great guy that runs it. I know he initially wanted, he was going to set up at the event.
Yeah.
And I guess he pulled out, especially after I told him what pretty much Whitney was telling us about, I think a few days ago, a week ago or something like that,
yeah.
About vendor spots. I mean, the vendor permit.
Yeah.
and because I wanted him to be, because he didn't know. He left the chat because of getting basically getting notifications every 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
that was, he left. I said, listen, a lot of the, in essence, quote unquote, pro clutchers, are causing a fuss, and that's what made me laugh and him laugh, because neither of us are part of the chat, and there's a whole mess more of people causing issues and drama in the chat, saying, hey, you guys have to have your vendors permit. I said, yeah, it's vendors permit. Just if you get anything, contact Whitney about it, everything. This is what I'm hearing. And he said, you know what? I might actually just, not go. It's not worth my time. It's not worth it. It's like, why do I want to pay $35 for a vendor permit for one damn day?
Exactly.
That's basically a flea market. Why?
Yep.
You said, for someone, let me put it like this. For someone like George that might do the one in April, and if there's a fall one, he might do that. Then it's probably worth it for him to have a yearly vendor's permit.
Yep.
But for someone like me or someone like Engage, it's not worth it. Why spend the $35 when you're not doing that?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very interested in the event in July. I really want involved, but, again, there's people involved that, for whatever reason, I can't access or talk to, which sucks, and I miss them. But, yeah, I want involved with that July event so bad, like, 'cause it's all horror, and it's like, it's there at the theater, and that's awesome. But, yeah, it's one of the things in Waynesboro that I'm really interested in, but it's like I told Whitney the other day, I said, because she's not officially involved with the July event, which I found out. I'm like, well, that's kind of shitty. But I told her, I said, well, we can, you've got a shop, you've got space, I'm working on getting a projector and a screen. We can do a live horror hosting at the shop during the event that's going on downtown. It's going to draw people in one way or the other, And I said, we do it for free, I'd set out my little kitty jar and get tips, but outside of that, that's it, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, that sounds like an idea. I said, it is. I said, they can either officially involve us or I'm going to be involved in one way or the other, So, by hook or by crook. And then you have their fall con. Like I said, it's the weekend after Harrisburg. But the one we're talking about is next weekend. And to me, I don't know how I feel based on how everything was handled for this one. And that's why I kept trying to tell them it's important. Oop, I turned off the screen because you're way bright, so don't feel too bad about it. Unless George pops up.
I'm not.
But,
go ahead.
I may not do the fall one. It's just based on the whole Charlie Foxtrot this was. Because I have a feeling that the fall one for them is going to be the exact same thing. I would rather put my time and energy into Harrisburg than I would not. I'd rather put my time and energy if next spring that there's going to be the Spring Comic-Con in Hagerstown. I'd rather put my time and energy in that than I would Waynesboro, because you don't wait till last minute to plan a con. You just don't. In fact, you should be...
Same here. I'd rather... with everything that I want to do, it's like the fall show, it's like, if what I suspect is, I don't want to see a mirror of what's happening now happen come this fall, and therefore I'd rather put my entire energy come this next spring, next year, for Hagerstown.
Yeah.
It's closer, and I still be able to see the Con family, have a good damn time. It's just a matter of, and it's inside, and everybody's going to have a blast. I could probably, if I get permission, I could probably record every goddamn panel.
Yep. And to me, that's where I'm at the moment, where it's like, I like supporting small stuff. You know that. I know that. But there's a etiquette and protocol, and etiquette and protocol was not followed in this at all. You know? And for people who want to say that they've done 3, and in reality, no, you did 1 aside from this one. The ones that y'all do in store don't count. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, I think Whitney might be mad at me in regards to me wanting to have my booth changed, because one of the things that she, it's like, I kept telling her, it's like, where she wanted me, the booth moved was behind Andre's booth.
Yeah.
And it was like, when I saw that, it's like, I was close to saying, like, dude, you don't put, what's her name in the corner, you don't put me in a corner.
Put baby in the corner.
Yeah. Don't put baby in the corner. And because that's what it seemed like. It's like, you're putting me behind Andre.
Yeah.
What? It's like, did Andre drop out? What's going on? It's like, I don't want to, do Andre dirty. And what happens? Like, I don't want to do another vendor dirty at all.
Yeah.
And pretty much, the thing is, you understand what the term dirty is, and probably whoever's watching understands what the word or term dirty means. And she said, one of the comments she said back to me was, like, oh, I don't want you to do any other vendor, quote, in essence, she used the word dirty in quotes. Like, she didn't understand what dirty meant. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, with her, she has a bit of a sense of humor, so, again, I wouldn't sweat it. And not only that, it may not have been her answering it, because Ashley's been doing a lot of stuff for her lately, so don't be surprised if you catch what I'm saying.
Well, if Ashley's been speaking on her messenger, then there can be major issues.
I'm not saying that is the case. I'm not saying it isn't the case, but it's a good possibility because she's working as the assistant now.
And
I'm like, that's fine. I even told Whitney how I feel about it. I said, you don't offer somebody a job like me and then turn around and give them to somebody else. Because they're like, but we have bands and equipment. What does Sasha have? Sasha has an army.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
It's not the point. Like, well, they have, no.
That's who can do the job.
That's number one. And number two is like, I got the feeling that because, as stated, I tend to record panels when I'm at a show. I ask. I don't do it for the show's benefit.
Right.
For the example of 4-State, I don't do it for 4-State's benefit. I do it for my benefit.
Yep.
4-State just gets the added bonus of it.
Yep.
And the impression, what I got was that Whitney was, in essence, like, expecting me to do this for her. That's not how it goes. Yeah.
Not when you're paying people for equipment and stuff, if you feel me.
Like, I'm not getting paid for this at all.
Yeah. Mm.
And
neither am I. And I've put a lot of time and energy and effort into it. I've helped them out. I even have them established for actual pages for planning out the next 2 cons without using a goddamn group chat. You don't plan shit in a group chat. You just don't. You don't. It's bad business. It's fine if it's like 2 or 3 people, but when you've got more than 2 or 3 people, it becomes a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of it was a cluster.
Yeah. And involving the town, because you're going to run into all kinds of problems. The town don't want this. The town don't want that. I know this from firsthand experience from dealing with Pride. You know? And it's like I said to Whitney the other day, I said, this is why your last assistant quit. Because last spring's con was so complex. And yeah, that person is raising Cain now, wanting back benefits, saying that they were fired. And it's like, no, you quit. I actually was at the con and saw you quit. Stop making up stories. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you were like, F this, because it was once again planned last minute. You learn from your past mistake, you know?
Oh. That's why it's like, if I don't want to be a part of it later this year, because of the whole aspect of, well, if it is such a clusterfuck, why the hell, do I, it's from 4 states than I do with this. I just wanted to try it out in regards to how everything is, how the promotion aspect, but all in all, I do not want to, because of everything, I do not want to go be a part of it at all next time.
Yeah.
But I will also say this. The only reason why I went last year is because of George. You guys wanted to get me out, and have something to do and just kind of upbeat my morale. I respect that. It's like I have nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just...
Don't get me wrong, I like supporting small cons, but if, aside from the syntax and semantics of them doing 3, yeah, like technically Spring was their first full-fledged one out on the street. They might have had a couple vendors here or there out around the shop one day, but that doesn't count as a full-fledged con. Sorry, not sorry. The convention's a little bit bigger than that, and you don't plan it 2 or 3 weeks before the go date. It's got to be done then and there. Again, just me. It's just total aggro thing. I'm going to go. I'm going to have a good time. Do my panels. And give out hand sanitizer and masks. Hang out with you, of course, Chris. If George shows
Right.
up, great. If not, I'm primarily working George's booth. Yose's covering me while I, work George's booth. And then Yose's got his panel or stuff going on, and we'll go from there. All I know was I was real quick to make sure George had his stuff in line, because I'm not the one getting in trouble that weekend. No. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why when I first saw the original map, I was like, whoa. Because I knew George wants to be near
EPG.
EPG Studios, and he was nowhere near EPG Studios. I was like, oh, wow, what, that's like double dirty right there. It's like, how many times you want to do George dirty like that?
Yeah.
Poor George, man.
It's just unbelievable. But, he seems to be in a good spot now, so that's a plus. He definitely wants involved with the horror con, and I told him, I said, I'll help him out the horror one. I've got no problem with that. But, I kind of want to do my thing in July. Badly. Because horror hostess, come on. I'm supposed to be doing that, but... drama. I hate drama. Especially drama when people don't tell me what the drama is. And that's what pisses me off the most. I have a good idea as to what it is. It's about that racist I called out in February because they work for a number of films that are associated with people. And to me, it's like, don't work with racists. Especially ones that are blatant about it. I'm sorry you wanted to make a sequel about starring the racist guy's character. have him be in a horrible disfiguring accident and they had to get a plastic surgeon and recast it. It can be done. Pull a I Dream of Jeannie and just change Darren's out. You know what I mean? It ain't no big deal.
Or do what you did with Elongated Man in the Flash TV series.
Yeah.
For the folks at home who do not know or do not watch Flash TV series, pretty much the guy that played the Elongated Man, I think a bunch of tweets came out in regards to him saying some wrong things back in the day, and the folks behind the Flash TV show fired his ass. So the workaround that they did in, I think, one of the episodes is, one, he's in Europe right now, helping somebody out. And when his character, quote unquote, character was on the show or came back to Star Labs, he was burned beyond recognition and had to stay in pretty much a special outfit that covered his whole body and face. So pretty much they got somebody else to play it that kind of physically represented him. Like we were saying last week, right now, because your point was like, hey, bring in the question.
Yeah.
There's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I love the Question. He's like my favorite character. But again, with the Question, I think the reason I like him is because of Justice League Unlimited, and you know who played him in Justice League Unlimited.
Right.
It's Jeffrey freaking Combs. I love Jeffrey Combs. He was the best Ratchet, in my opinion. Like, he literally gave Ratchet that old, I'm tired of this shit attitude in Transformers Prime. If you've never watched Transformers Prime, watch it. And there's a whole episode involving zombie Transformers, especially Autobots, that he accidentally reanimates. And it is a very in-joke involving Jeffrey Combs, which is hilarious. Because one of his statements is, not again. And it's like, wait, this has happened before? And then it's like, oh, I know what he's talking about. And you do too, Chris.
Right.
It's kind of like the in-joke with Sigourney Weaver from Galaxy Quest. Why does it have to be Vince? Alien reference, you know. So, going back to Godzilla and Kong, did you catch the confirmed kill list of all the kaiju?
Yeah, I believe I did, and I, in the summer, oh, sorry about that. I saw the list, like in the start, but I also, like the fact that, you know, granted both Kong and Godzilla are intelligent kaiju. It really showed how intelligent they can be. That Kong was no idiot in any shape or form, number one. And that Godzilla was pretty much a quick uptake.
Yep.
Quick on the uptake, so to speak. And were there plot holes and everything else? Yes. The whole plot line, yeah, it fed some things. You would have had even bigger plot holes, but what's her name? You know, Millie Bobby Brown, that whole thing could probably been removed or readjusted, and you probably wouldn't have missed it.
I think because they were hinting that part of, I don't want to spoil anything, so spoiler warning. I think they were hinting that the, what was it called, Apex Technologies?
Right.
Had built another Orca inside a certain piece of tech that they have that's kind of like the end piece for the movie. Again, avoiding spoilers. If you've already watched foreign trailers, it's already spoiled for you. But that contains an orca device, which was in the second movie, and they kind of wanted to loop in the characters from the second one because even her dad appears, albeit briefly, but her dad's in it as well. And they were prominent players in King of the Monsters, and it was nice to kind of have a continuance, to kind of have that carryover. I did like that they had somebody kind of carry on the Sarazawa name, even though the dude was a total douche. Unfortunately, there wasn't an oxygen destroyer involved because, man, I would love to see Destroya in this universe, but it is what it is. But it was nice to see the carryover with Sarazawa continued, because Sarazawa was the original Doctor in Gojira, who made the weapon that destroyed Godzilla, and then made sure he died so the weapon couldn't be recreated. Even though it is recreated in Godzilla vs. Destroya, which, if you've never seen, is like one of the best Godzilla movies in my opinion. Just from the whole thing with Destroya and, actually somewhat decent human characters you can get along with. But I kind of see why they did what they did with the human element. They kind of wanted to connect other films together. That's why they had the Denim character in basically the new movie, which ties back to Skull Island and the whole Hollow Earth theory. And, of course, the original King Kong, because one of the guys in the original, the OG King Kong, was Denim, the filmmaker, who wanted to make the movie about Skull Island. So it's interesting how they tie it back into some of the classics, especially if you watch kaiju film and follow the lore as much as I have. I'm just glad they didn't have an Emmy character, because I would have been done. I'm like, okay, now we're dipping way too much in the Millennium series. Nothing's wrong with that, but let's not. But to see that Rodan is now a confirmed kill from King of Monsters, which sucks, because I love Rodan. But I get how stingy Toho is with their licenses. But again, killing Rodan's no big deal, because you can just get another one. Obviously obviously Hollow Earth is open now, so maybe there's more Rodans down there. Maybe there's more Kongs down there. Maybe there's more other things down there. Same way with Mothra. It seems Mothra's even a confirmed kill, if I'm not mistaken, which sucks. But again, I don't think in what was it called, King of Monsters, we got to see Caterpillar form Mothra, did we? I don't think we did.
Yeah, briefly.
Briefly. But to me, there's definitely an opportunity for a sequel here. I was mad that there was no end credit sequence or anything of that nature, but I get it. But to me, it's like, I want more. And Toho can be pretty stingy with their licenses. We got 4 movies out of the deal. We should be happy. But it would be nice to see a Rodan film. A full-fledged, straight-up Rodan. Now the Hollow Earth is open. Dealing with that. Be nice to see, what was it called? That was also in Rodan. The Kamakuras, the Krakaras, the whatever they were. The little, mantis-looking monster things. Those would be kind of cool. There's a lot of different options, but again, you have to license each one of those characters separate from Toho. A live-action Mothra film, I'd be all over, where it's just about Mothra. Could it happen? I don't know. This movie seems to be tracking pretty well.
I'll say this.
Yeah?
I'll say this. For those who are fans of the Toho and know the lore and everything else, I'll say this. You will kind of see what happens. You'll know what happens once you see the so-called spoiler. You'll know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Especially if you watch Millennium series. Because that felt like Kiryu a whole lot. With the whole Kiryu thing. Where they used the bones of the first Godzilla to build a certain something. Except this time they didn't use the first Godzilla.
I'm talking about the certain something becoming aware.
Yeah, that's the same thing that happened in the film where Kiryu was introduced. And Kiryu, if you follow Godzilla, is a name for something else. If you're a big G fan, you already get what I'm talking about. But Kiryu was a project that was built using the bones of the first Godzilla, because technically in canon the first Godzilla dies. and then is replaced with another one. It just shows up. And Godzilla reads again. But, they essentially build something out of the bones, and the spirit of those bones takes over the machine. So I saw that for a mile. So if you have not watched a certain movie, Part 2, even though it's not a direct sequel to the 1974 movie of the same name, it's got an added element to it that's completely different. And again, I'm avoiding the name because it's a big spoiler as to what we get. But it was from Millennium Edition. Nice twist, though, to not make it a former Godzilla. Even though a former Godzilla is used in a way.
I'll say this. Everybody was kind of, I don't know if we brought it up, but everybody was kind of wondering how, bring up the original size difference between Kong and Godzilla, because Kong was, in essence, when we first saw him, he was smaller, way smaller than Godzilla, maybe half the size.
Yeah.
But at least we found out, we got some sort of somebody saying, hey, he's actually grown a hell of a lot more since, back in the day. So it's kind of nice to know that, they kind of plugged that hole.
Yeah. What tripped me out was, and this is just me watching crap movies and having a love for Michael Crichton, and dropping that name, you probably know exactly where I'm going. But one of the plot twists was very Congo for me. I'm shocked Kong did not...
Oh, you mean the...
I'm shocked Kong did not say, Kong good gorilla, and sign it out.
But I will say this, I did like that little bit of a, I won't say nod, but I like what they did with that.
Yeah.
It actually gave Kong a little bit of a voice, instead of it being more of an... Yeah, Kong is an animal, but at least it gave him more an actual, like a speaking role, so to speak.
Yep. I'm just surprised.
And it's kind of, I'll say this, it's the kind of inclusion that I kind of like. It's like, well, we want to include somebody with a disability. How about somebody who's deaf? Fans will kind of hate, people will hate that. It'll make it, you'll have a few people going, the fans are, this, that, and other thing. Gorillas know sign language.
Not
that far of a stretch.
But Star Wars fans hate everything. Nobody complained when the Tusken Raiders had a language. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the Tusken Raider language that was developed for The Mandalorian was taught by people that know ASL. Basically, you're deaf people teaching ASL to all of the actors to kind of create a Tusken Raider language. Because they figure, hey, they want them to be silent. They don't want them to vocalize a whole lot aside from the usual, you know what I mean? But they want it to be more of a movement-based gesture type language. And that's how that came to be. Many of the actors actually were deaf and were using sign to convey stuff, which is kind of cool when you sit down and think about it. And a lot of Star Wars fans, everybody loves The Mandalorian, and they did not hate that. And that was a subtle way to get ASL into the Star Wars universe. At least how I see it. I could be wrong. If you didn't know it, that's where that language came from.
Yeah, I saw that article. I think a few weeks into when it first came out, or something along those lines.
Yeah, they've had that a thing since the very first episode that showed a sand person. Because they wanted to convey how somebody who's not a sand person communicates with a sand person. And I just think that's kind of radical. I want to see the episode or some sort of flashback thing where it teaches you how Din learned how to do that. Like, I can see a whole episode where he's stuck on Tatooine with a Tusken and has to learn the culture. Kind of like Enemy Mine, but in the Star Wars universe. I would watch that. I'm not trying to give any ideas. Don't do that, Disney. Don't screw up Enemy Mine. Please don't. It's out there now, huh, Chris?
Yeah, it's out there now. They're going to screw something up.
But yeah, that was one of the big things. Borderlands has officially started shooting. So that's already begun. They got the little girl picked to play Tiny Tina. So it seems like they're focusing more on the second game than they are the first game. Which, to me, it's kind of like, is it telling the tale as to how they meet Tiny Tina and get involved with Tiny Tina? Because it doesn't explain why Roland would be there unless it's all flashbacks. I'm perfectly cool killing Kevin Hart right away. Like, from the very beginning, that would make my day. Make it the first 5 minutes. I'm perfectly fine with that. I hate Kevin Hart. But, aside from that, it looks interesting. You know, they've shown pictures from, I think they were filming in Budapest. So, not sure why, because I always think of Pandora as a desert, but they've shown other sides to Pandora as well, so.
Yeah, I think I should have saved the article and posted it up. A lot of people are very skeptical about the Borderlands movie. Very skeptical.
No, I can see why. I mean, it's Eli Roth. He can take a good idea and completely screw it up. Don't get me wrong, he's made some pretty decent movies. But he's screwed up a whole lot of them between here and now. There have been some good. Just not as many as the bad. And just because he was the wonderkin of Quentin Tarantino doesn't mean jack shit in my book. You know. Look at the Project Greenlight that was supposed to produce great stuff. Feast is an awesome movie. Don't watch the sequels. But Feast is a great standalone film. You know? But yeah, it's... Eli Roth should have been just a one-hit wonder. I'm sorry. Kind of like Paul W.S. Anderson. Event Horizon is his masterpiece, but after he got attached to video game movies, he just went downhill. I'm scared for the new Mortal Kombat movie. I'm scared for the new Doom movie if and when that ever happens.
Hollywood's run out of ideas, and they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's it.
Yeah, that they are.
Literally, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
That they are. I think like the best things I watched this weekend, of course, was Godzilla vs. Kong. It was great. If you haven't seen it, get it, see it, watch it. Everybody's talking about the theater experience. And me, if you don't have an Alamo nearby or a mom and pop to see it, just watch it at home. Invite some friends over so the cost isn't that bad for you. Or set up a private screening. I know the haunted penitentiary up above me a little bit is allowing people to do movie screenings. That'd be an awesome place to watch Godzilla vs. Kong. I'd personally watch Prison, but that's just me. Or the Shawshank Redemption, since part of it was filmed there. Again, just me.
Or if you want to go completely cheese factor, Con Air.
Oh, yeah, but you need a plane for that one, not in an actual prison. What other movies have happened in an actual prison? I mean, you got Shawshank, you got The Green Mile.
Longest Yard.
Yeah, that one. That's already had a remake. Because the first one was Burt Reynolds, wasn't it?
Yeah. Burt Reynolds was in the second one, but he didn't have the primary role.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Adam Sandler for that one. But, yeah, like, if you're going to be in a haunted penitentiary, there isn't too many movies outside of Prison, maybe Shocker, but, like, Shocker really doesn't count because you have the execution and that's it, you know what I mean? And a couple prison scenes. I'm trying to think what else has happened in a prison. Maniac Cop has some scenes in a prison. Again, some. The whole medical examination and his, him getting stabbed in the shower. Now, that's a film that could use a remake. So, speaking of remakes and sequels, how do you feel about the new Space Jam?
I fear it's to be. They'll go downhill fast, and they're going to blame everybody but themselves. That's how I see it. It's going to be one of those types of movies if I hear it correctly, it's going to try to be let's try to make it as self-aware as much as I don't want to use the word. They're going to try to make it as woke as possible, push a lot of stuff, take off a lot of boxes. Fans are not going to like it. It's not going to do. The word will get out that the movie sucks, and it's going to flop harder than or say crap. It's not going to do well.
Yeah.
It's going to make Black Snake Moan seem like Avengers Endgame, so to speak. And the people behind the new Space Jam movie are going to pretty much go, well, it's the fans, they're neck bearded, they'll use every excuse in the book but themselves, in a way.
Yeah.
To get out of it. But if it's a success, they're going to use every excuse like, well, this, that, and the other thing, we told you to work,
Well, this is a computer lab, and they get sucked into the computer world. And I'm sorry, I've already seen that not only in Tron, but in Ready Player One, and also the Wreck-It Ralph series. I mean, to me, it feels like you've taken Wreck-It Ralph, Ready Player One, and Tron, and meshed it all together with little elements of Space Jam, the original, and you're calling it a sequel to Space Jam, when in reality it's not.
Right.
It's its own standalone thing that happens on the internet, and it's like... Space Jam 2 could be interesting, because it'd be interesting to see where the Looney Tunes characters are now at this point. It would have been interesting to see what happened to the Monstars from the original movie, the aliens from the first one that stole everybody's powers, but give them new powers. And to me it's like, I don't know who greenlit this idea. It just feels like it's cribbing from so many other better movies, and hope they can Voltron something good together without it looking like crap. And let's be honest, it's not going to wind up being Devastator. It's going to wind up being that little GoBots gestalt that was back in the day that fell apart in 2 seconds. You're not going to get something cool out of that. At all. And that's just me.
That's the point. You don't have the thing with Space Jam. It's not like you have let me put it this: it's not like it's Star Wars, meaning you have a bunch of original fans that might whine, bitch, and complain. Space Jam is still a fairly recent film. It came out early 2000s?
98.
98.
Actually, 97.
So
it was the summer of 1997. And I remember that because my freshman year up at Ship University, it had made a big deal about Space Jam. So it was still early 90s. Or late 90s. It was late 90s.
But it seems like it was very, very recent, but it's always in the public eye. There are a whole mess of people that know this Space Jam.
Yeah.
It seems like it has a wider fan base than something like Star Wars or Star Trek. You bring out Space Jam, you could be in the middle of a bunch of people and bring up Space Jam, and it's like, oh, Space Jam, Jordan, Bugs Bunny, they know it.
Yeah.
Like,
And this
up like, oh, Star Wars, Chewbacca. Like, what?
This isn't that. You know what I mean? It's they're trying to reinvent the wheel, and the basis is perfectly fine. Don't reinvent Space Jam based on popular trends. It's great to do a film 20 years after, because essentially that's what it is, like 22, 23 years after. But don't try to reinvent it. Like Halloween 2018 worked so well. I hate the title. I would have laughed if they would have called it H40, because that would have been hilarious. Because how they advertised H2O 20 years later. But anyway, with the whole thing with Space Jam, there was no point to reinvent the wheel. It's great to revisit something that's 30 or 40 years old, but you don't have to completely reinvent it. Force Awakens kind of showed us that. It showed us that a lot. There's a lot of rehashing in the sequel trilogy. Because thematically speaking, you're going to have a lot of rehashing, especially if you're following the Heroes saga. There's going to be a lot of stuff that feels the same. But with Space Jam, you only had the one movie. There's no point in trying to reinvent the whole mythos and then try to sell it as a sequel by calling it Space Jam: A New Legacy. If it's going to be a reboot, just call it Space Jam and be done with it. But again, they're bringing in elements from other movies. I don't know if you caught that or not, but you're going to have King Kong show up. You're going to have Gandalf show up. A lot of these other Warner Brothers products show up. What's that?
In Space Jam?
Yeah. The Mask.
That explains that the aspect of the gang from Clockwork Orange showing up in the film.
Mm-hmm. The Mask is showing up. From Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey's The Mask. That character's showing up. Unfortunately, Jared Leto's Joker is showing up. I think rumor has it that Margot Robbie has a cameo as Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? It's like we want to bring in all these elements from Warner Brothers, and it's like, no, this isn't Ready Player One. This isn't Disney making fun of itself with Ralph Wrecks the Internet. It looks like it's going to be bad. Maybe it's not for me.
Something like Wreck-It Ralph, or something like Ready Player One, stuff like that works. Not Space Jam.
Yeah.
Space Jam, again, it's because they're doing this shit. They are basically cruising for the fans to, not fans like you and I, genuine, I don't want to use the term that a lot of other folks tend to use, but normies, the normal fans, that love the film. And this is, not something that the sci-fi geeks or folks like you and I would do, cluster around. Everybody else likes this Space Jam. It's like, why? Yet, guess who's going to be blamed? The quote-unquote alt-right, folks saying, oh, they're the ones who hate in regards to this movie. No, we're bitching and complaining because, you're cramming shit into this movie that doesn't need to be in there, and why, So you could,
I don't know the philosophy. I'll see it when it comes out, but just like Ghostbusters 2016, I gotta be frank. I'm not gonna like this. I knew walking into 2016, I wasn't gonna like it, and I was right. And me, I'm the type of person who I can check my expectations at the door, and I did. And And there was very little good to 2016 outside of Ecto Cooler. And that's how I feel about this movie. There's very little good coming out of this film outside of maybe a fast food promotion. And that's it. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll finally get a decent The Mask 2 instead of that Jamie Kennedy starring Son of the Mask BS that we got years and years and years ago that everybody just forgets happened. Maybe we'll get that. Who knows? We'll see. Because part of me is like, maybe they're just testing the water to see what people like, but this is the wrong movie to do it in. You know?
That's one of the things why I started following and watching one of these other YouTubers. Thanks to Ghost, I'd say that's one of the good things that came out of Ghostbusters 2016 for me. It's that when I found out, it's like going through, certain channels on YouTube, and found out this one other YouTuber never liked it. Because one of the things that I kept hearing was, this is not, no offense to you, Sasha, but it's like only guys hate, Ghostbusters 2016. They're sexist pics, because of, like, wait a minute. I think there's more so before you and I became anywhere close to friends, or we might have known each other, and this is before we actually started talking to each other.
Yeah.
Again, 2016.
Yeah.
And I mainly found this YouTuber because, one, she hated, Ghostbusters 2016, and she is or I'll put it like this, I'll phrase it like this, she identifies as a woman.
Yep.
It's like, wait a minute, you're saying that only guys hate, Ghostbusters 2016, yet here's a woman, fully fledged and, operational, if you want to say humorously like that, who hates the movie.
Yep.
Never liked it.
Exactly. And I'm right there with her. I just don't like it. The only thing I liked about it is the Ecto Cooler. We got Ecto Cooler back. We might not get Ecto Cooler this go round. And I'm kind of like, ugh. Because I need it. My fix is currently out of supplies.
That's why I'm pissed that Crystal Pepsi's not a thing. They did a good job this time around. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah. But, like, Crystal Pepsi, yay, I need it back. I don't know how I feel about Peeps Pepsi if I see it at, like, BB's, which is, like, a discounter. You got some?
No. I'm just, I don't think, I could tolerate Peeps, but I don't think I could tolerate Peeps in fluid form.
Well, this is like marshmallow flavored cola. So to me, it's kind of like sugar with more sugar. So it's going to taste like vanilla Coke, maybe. I mean, does marshmallow really have a flavor? I mean, toasted marshmallow does because it's caramelized, but... Now, there you go. There's an idea for Ghostbusters. A toasted marshmallow flavor soda. That I would drink.
Yeah, there you go. I'll try that. I'll sip on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll personally crash my sugar so I can drink a bottle.
Yeah, because that sounds wonderful. Like, I miss Jones Soda Company because they used to make some interesting flavors, and that was one I don't think they ever did. Was burnt marshmallow, not burnt, but like toasted marshmallow. That does change the flavor a little bit. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about Peeps Pepsi. I know in Japan, and that's why I bring it up because Bryson's in the comments. But yeah, we heard about Legendary. We talked about all that. We heard about Toho. We even talked about Godzilla vs. Kong. You're about 30 minutes late, brother. But yeah, like in Japan, they have all kinds of different flavors of Pepsi. Like they have the cherry blossom Pepsi that's flavored like cherry blossoms. And a lot of us in America go, ew, it's not bad actually. It tastes pretty good. I've brewed beer with cherry blossoms, and it's awesome. It's just a different palette than what we're used to having. And so I'll experiment and play with different stuff, but there is some weird stuff that they make overseas, and we rarely ever get to see it here, so it's kind of cool when we get it. Like that Mountain Dew, that watermelon Mountain Dew, that is so good. They now are popping up in sheets, so if you haven't gotten one yet, Chris will be able to grab one from Sheets or something. So definitely try that out.
That's the thing with me. It's like I've been trying to.
They have sugar-free. It's in the zero variety as well.
Oh, good. Then I'll probably have to test it out and see if the Sheets has it. Because I do want to try something.
I know when
I'm trying to at least keep.
I know when I bought a case of it, like in the cans, they had zero as an option. So, and yeah, we got some last night that were in the bottles from Sheets. So, we'll have to see. Bryson, we already covered all that. You're a little late there, Cornstalk. A little late. You need to come to the party a lot sooner. You need to find Sasha online, follow, subscribe, get notifications, and then you'll be able to be part of the conversation that much sooner. We've already gotten to Monsterverse. We've already kind of tackled a good bit of that. We even talked about Rodan being possibly dead, much to my dismay. But, yeah. I'm trying to think what else has been out there that's been newsworthy lately. Regarding, fandoms and things of that nature. Oh, here's a good one. So they're getting ready to reboot Transformers yet again, which is cool. We get rid of all of the, what was his name? Michael Bay. Get rid of all the Michael Bay Transformers. I'm perfectly fine. Yes, if we gotta offer up Bumblebee as a token sacrifice, I'm fine with that. Even though Bumblebee was...
Get rid of Bumblebee. Bring in Goldbug.
No, we don't talk about Goldbug. Goldbug didn't happen. But their plan is that Hasbro and Paramount want to do a shared Hasbro universe. And what they want to do is they want to first establish Transformers on the planet of Cybertron. And just have the battle and the war as the first movie for Transformers. Which I think is a brilliant idea. You can do a whole CGI movie, you don't need any fancy sets. You can bring up all kinds of different storylines that way, and end it with the Autobots fleeing. And then getting stuck on Earth millions and millions and millions of years ago. But their plan is to introduce G.I. Joe, Mask, and Centurions as a movie franchise, saying that the government created those organizations, Mask, G.I. Joe, and Centurions, based on Cybertronian technology. Which is an interesting take. I don't know how I feel about it. But have them brought in. Then bring in other elements from that Hasbro owns now, which would include... for example, would include Inhumanoids, which I'm all for an Inhumanoids movie. The evil that lies within. Bring in Visionaries. I don't know how Visionaries is going to fit into that with its far-flung future with technology and magic. And then, even rumors that now that they technically own, basically, what's it called? Dino Riders. I don't know if you remember Dino Riders from Tycho, but now they technically own that. And they want to bring that in and just casually sneak the Dinobots in, which I think is kind of cool. But how do you feel about that? Like a shared Hasbro universe?
Could be interesting if it's done right. Whether or not it actually is done right is up to everything. But the thing is, because Legendary is successful, I won't say Legendary, the film company, is currently successful with the whole Toho thing with Godzilla and that franchise. The Marvel Universe is kind of very successful still with their shared universe. DC, and they're seesawing a little bit. But you saw, the whole aspect of the monsters, I'm talking about the classic monster-type universe, shared universe,
all that's failed
crashing
reboots.
and burning. You had all these movies that over the years, it's like when you saw the successes from like The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and all those franchises, and everybody else tried to get in on it and failed. Now it's the whole shared universe thing. There's going to be a whole crap ton that are going to fail, and they're just going to keep trying and trying and trying, and only a very few are going to actually stick for some strange reason.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, they were talking about, because they've even picked up Rom. I don't know if you're familiar with Rom Space Knight. He was a huge part of Marvel Universe for the longest time. Even Godzilla was part of Marvel Universe for people who don't know. In fact, that's where the giant helicarrier came from. It was invented because of Godzilla. And now I just kind of glaze over that fact. Because, yes, Godzilla did go up against the West Coast Avengers and a couple other people. Primarily S.H.I.E.L.D. a good bit. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. had a whole Godzilla task force. And they brought in the Shogun Warriors to help combat. They financed Shogun Warriors to help combat Godzilla. That are no longer part of canon anymore. Like, I'm old enough to remember this. I'm not sure. Chris, do you remember Crystar?
I might have a comic or two, but I don't think I really got into the series.
Okay, well, the series tied into the Marvel Universe. Eventually. In fact, Crystar has shown up several times. It was a Remco toy line. Essentially, it was He-Man, but with crystal people. Essentially. Remco saw that He-Man was making money, and they had already successfully won that lawsuit with their He-Man knockoffs. So now they tried to explore something new with Crystar to see if they couldn't sell translucent figures because that was all the rage, while keeping the sword and sorcery element from He-Man. But it became part of Marvel canon. And it's interesting because there's stuff that came from Crystar, it's still part of Marvel canon, and it's kind of like, is it canon? Is it not? What's going on? But he has popped up from time to time. Same way with, like I said, Rom Space Knight. Rom Space Knight was a huge part of Marvel for the longest time, and it was basically a robot toy from Milton Bradley, and I think a few writers from Marvel. What's that? You okay?
I was hoping it was real. No, I saw something like a couple of days ago when you were talking. I was listening. So it was like, I thought it would be cool to pick up, for a convention or something like that. But apparently it's not, somebody custom made it. It's not an official release. What they did was they made a Final Fantasy VIII Nerf gun blade. And it's like, I so want one of these. It would be so awesome. I wonder how much it is. No, just a cut. Somebody did it custom. It's like, son of a bitch.
What was it of?
Why?
Of Blade? Like Blade, like the Marvel superhero?
No, I'm talking. Let's see here. Let me close it out. Let's see here. Messenger. Pull up. Sasha. Picture. And sent to you in Messenger.
Oh, okay, so like Gunblade from Final Fantasy.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, technically Square Enix makes games with Disney now because of, what's it called, which is part of the Final Fantasy universe, which is weird to think of, Kingdom Hearts. So it could happen, in theory. Don't rule it out. You know? I know Sony's pretty hardcore on Final Fantasy and Square Enix, but they still have dealings with, you know, Disney over the whole Disney licenses with. So it could happen. Again, never say never to something. You know, eventually everything's going to be owned either by Hasbro or Disney. Which kind of brings the whole new meaning to all are one. Optimus Prime, you didn't give us a blessing, you gave us a curse. Till all are one. Singularity known as Hasbro. Oh my god, Hasbro is technically Unicron. Consuming all brands.
Wait, I thought that was Disney.
Hasbro's up there too, because Hasbro now officially owns GoBots. GoBots are now officially part of Transformers canon as one of the 13 colonies of Transformers.
Oh. Got lost.
Like, there's a character named Bugbite from GoBots who now is an official Transformers character. It looks completely different. It looks like a Bumblebee ripoff, except more waspy, hence why the name being Bugbite. But yeah, that came from GoBots originally. It was that weird Volkswagen that, like, the top and the windshield were the eyes, instead of canopy tits for the character.
Canopy tits.
Yeah, you either get window titties or canopy titties in Transformers. I mean, like Optimus Prime revealing the Matrix, he's just flashing everybody. Look at my spark chamber. I follow Transformers way too much. But yeah, like, Hasbro has really come along and have consumed a lot of former competitors, because Mask is now part of them, which used to be Kenner. There for a while they were even making toys as Kenner, but it was really Hasbro. That's why the early Beast Wars toys all have Kenner branding if you look closely at them. Same way with G.I. Joe Extreme. It was all Kenner branded. But yeah.
Lineup on Voodoo changed. Nothing's really clawing to me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, nothing. Not even the monster stuff is calling to me.
Huh.
It's not really, nothing's really popping at me that much.
For what? Like stuff?
They have a Monster Fest sale, and nothing's really popping at me right now.
For Monster Fest? They're at the Mahoning?
No. Voodoo is having a Monster Fest sale. Like monster movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
Nothing's really popping.
Yeah. Well, I know Mahoning's getting ready. That's upstate of PA. They got... I don't like Joe Bob. I never will. I loved him when I was a kid. Can't stand the person he's become now. Mail Girl is cool. Love her to death. But can't stand who he is now as a person. It's like watching your heroes become monsters is hard to fathom. But they're going to be at the Mahoning.
As stated, if I'm able to go up to there, it's an excuse to meet up with a buddy of mine and, have some fun.
I've thought about it.
I don't want people,
I've thought about it.
I want some more details on the event.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but it's like, it's upstate. I won't say, what is it, June or July?
Something like that.
Yeah, I know it's in the summer. Right now, I just want to get through the con coming this weekend. Get through it. grin, bear it, be done with it. I'm off Friday and Saturday. I just went ahead and took off Friday so I can.
And sometime Saturday, probably before the bands start.
Yeah.
You have an unboxing to do. I'm going to remind you in regards to that.
Oh, yeah.
You have an unboxing.
Cool. I definitely will film that and have fun. We'll just make sure we're near a trash can or have something for the mess, so we'll figure it out.
As I said to a few people, I know you promote my show on your lovely thing. I just found it ironic that in regards to the event that's happening on Saturday, they put my booth between a bank and a lawyer's office. and I call myself the Mafia. Really? I can't really complain because it's funny. Shut up.
Location.
It's a location.
Well, it's like that one strip mall that has a divorce lawyer right beside the liquor store.
Right.
Location. You know? And that's just how the world works sometimes. But yeah, a bank, you in between a bank and everything, that'll be hilarious. Hopefully we have a decent trash can or something near us, because last time, those trash cans got full. I'm tempted to bring a couple of trash bags with me when we go. Is Candy bringing you up?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not right up. He's going to probably be my cameraman and the person manning the booth while I'm doing the panel and setting everything up.
Awesome. Cool beans. Is he doing anything, like, promoting his stuff?
I don't know, but he's always has open invite to sell anything that he wants to at my booth. He knows that.
Okay. You did warn him about the permit, of course.
No, it's my if they yell at me, I don't give a shit. I'll pack up and leave.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, like you had said earlier, like a lot of the problem is that we're right near the businesses, so the businesses are throwing a fit because obviously they didn't close the street, so they feel that we're impeding business traffic because the street's not going to be closed. And you're going to have food trucks, and you're going to have people visiting the booths. And the reality of the situation of it is that it's going to bring businesses to these people. But you got a mom and pop, I guess I'd call it a flea market. Is it a flea market or a consignment shop if you sell, like, arts and crafts? Well, that's the one that's...
Consignment.
Yeah, it's like one of the ones that are causing the biggest problem. You know, the people that make handmade jewelry and little stupid, what do you call it, the live, laugh, love crap that you hang on your wall and your mantle. And the stuff that just smells like old people's homes for days. I mean, like, not vitamin and P, but potpourri and crap. They're one of the people that have been a big problem towards the con. Like, they've been giving anybody that's involved with it from, like, downtown Waynesboro or the shop, like, the most negative and nasty reviews. And what's so funny is that you can go to these people's websites, like their own Facebook or whatever, and see that they actually work for this little place that does the consignments. And it's like, I see how it is, you know. I see you. I thought it was funny. They had a private group. I managed to get into the group, Chris. I don't know why they added me. But yeah, they were deleting posts left and right as soon as I went in. Because they knew somebody had just came in from the con to see what they were talking about. And
I know a few people we've gotten in our in the group, the fall setup or the spring setup, one of the two groups, we've got a bunch of new members. I don't even recognize from chat.
Yep. And again, That's the fall thing that I created. That's just for them to see what's going on, which is kind of cool. I think people are just inviting whoever they can invite. But they're really not going to start planning anything until this event's done and under the water. Honestly, I don't see them planning the fall event until after July. They want to get that June and July event taken care of first. You know? Because June, they got their diversity day that they want to do in the anniversary of the shop. Which I did a page for that. And then, if they want to do anything for July, you know, I'll set up a page for that if and when I get the approval to do it. So, either way, I'm doing something. Like I said, by hook or by crook, I'll be at that event in July, because it's got horror all over it. Even if I'm just the loudmouth, annoying person in the back of the cinema cracking fun of all the crap movies, I will gladly pay my ticket. You know? Unless it's people I know, then I'll give them genuine and honest feedback. But if it's another friggin' Dusty Fleischman film, ugh. Did you watch any of his films?
I don't think I have.
Radioactive Flesh-Eating Foliage? He did.
You mean radio? Did you just say radioactive foliage?
Radioactive Flesh-Eating Foliage.
I might have seen bits and pieces of it at Melloween way back in the day.
Yes. Because before Melloween, there was like something else that went downtown. They had like a whole movie night there at the Waynesboro Theater. And I went. And it was funny because they wanted me to be the masters of ceremonies. And I gave Dusty the most horrible shit in the world. I'm like, for a guy. And I said, Dusty, you constantly want to have sex scenes in your stuff. Which is cool, but you're fully clothed. Girls are buck wild, nude, awesome. Nobody wants to see me naked, and I'm like, I'm not saying that they do, but add some realism. This ain't the hot coffee mod from Grand Theft Auto, okay? Please take off your shirt. You know? Kick off your shoes or something. But they were bad.
Yeah, at least take off your shoes and shirt, and you can film around the rest.
Yeah. It was sad because they had some choice actors that we know in them. They had Mel. They had, what's her name? Rossi chick. Geneva. They had,
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple on the tip of my tongue. Steve Segman's mother. She was in one. I can't think of her name. Saved my life. It's on the tip of my tongue. But she was in one too. And they all started at Creepy Call. I think even Corey was part of Creepy Crawl, and then she started her own stuff. You know? Which I don't blame. You know, there was a lot of actors and actresses that were just like, Dusty's creepy. You know? And I'm like, yeah, he kind of gives off that air. But he was making movies. And yes, they were... I use the phrase shot on shitio. I don't know if you remember when you go to the rental store and there'd be movies that were literally shot on home video, but they were still movies. That's what his stuff feels like. I mean, come on, with the title, Radioactive Flesh-Eating Foliage.
I think I saw, I was going to speak with somebody regarding some of his films, and one of them seemed like that. It was a good movie, but it just seemed like it was all shot on video.
Yeah.
And it didn't, when it was transferred to YouTube, it didn't seem like it transferred well, if you can understand that. So.
It's like that Adams kid that shoots movies, and he has all of his stuff for free up on YouTube. That stuff is just very clunkery. I applaud the effort. I applaud the work that it takes to make a film, but it's like there's a lot you could be doing to add production value without spending money. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's as simple as just kicking off your shoes and taking off your shirt. You know?
I can tell you this. Matt Burns will never let me and my partner in crime will never let Matt Burns live down mellowly.
Yeah.
Thanks to that foliage film.
It was bad.
We might actually bring it up again.
Yeah, you can blame me for that one.
No, I laugh is because at that event, I want to say bless Melanie. She's a very Mel.
Mel Huffman.
She's a sweetheart. I'll say that. I'm saying that with all due respect. She's a sweetheart, and I was happy to be there to support her. You know, to help my buddy out with his booth, the whole 9 yards, and you know, all I hear is in the back. You know, at one point, my partner in crime say, "Oh my God," and just start laughing his damn ass off.
Yeah.
And it's all because of what happened to, you know what, I'll say this, a face that Matt Burns made in that movie. And when he explained it to me, I started laughing my ass off. And because Matt's a friend, we laced it into him big time. And it's one of those things that, oh, this horse ain't dead yet.
Yep.
We might have killed it that day. We're just going to bring it back every now and again.
That's the essence of comedy. You got to bring it back. But you got to wait for the right time. It's got to be timed just perfectly. And you got to wait until everybody's forgotten about it. And then, poof, here it is again.
Poof, bring it back.
Yep.
There's a place here in Lawrenceburg. I want to check it out that does screen printing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to put, like, hashtag Matt's face on the back of his shirt. Make it like a jersey instead of like the Godfather or anything like that. Just hashtag Matt's face.
If you know roughly where the scene is,
I have a shirt done up.
I have a copy of it. We can screen grab it. I will assist with this. I mean, apparently I'm already in shit for whatever reason, I don't know, but I will screen grab this and make it happen. In fact, if you want a copy, I can certainly hook you up. We'll make that shirt happen.
Oh man, the thing is, you would not get blamed at all. Me and my partner in crime will get blamed for it.
Well, you know how I would go about it, right? I would screen grab it. I would try to de-res the image as best as I can because I'm going from whatever they filmed on to the DVD and then grabbing it and blowing it up as a face. You'll have to come up with some sort of clever caption for it. And I'm quite sure you've got like 20 of them right now. Between you and Big Candy, you guys will figure out something. And we'll just throw it up on my Spreadshirt and then I'll zero out the art tag. So it's just the base cost of the shirt. And the shipping. You know what I mean? And then there you go. Done and done. Or you can go to your shop and, go to your shop and get them printed out. But I will get the image.
I'll see how much it costs. I'll see how much it costs, do it front and back. So if I'm wearing a coat or my vest, it would say, like, on the front, Long Coat Mafia podcast on the front, and you won't know it until I take off the vest and it's on the back.
Okay, we can do that. I will get said image.
That way, it's a punchline. No, I'm just here for, promoting the show. Oh, it's a little bit toasty here. Hi, man, how's it going? Let me take off my vest. Motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way. We'll make it happen. In fact, I'll have to dig around, see if I still have the movie somewhere, and I'll get you a copy so you can watch it and find the exact scene.
Wait.
Yeah, you'll find the scene. You'll get back, be like, Sasha, this is the timestamp on this scene. I need it exactly paused right here, and I will pause that puppy, screen grab it right from the DVD, bring it into Photoshop, clean it up. Do you just want the face itself? Because I can do that. And we'll just do the face.
Part of me wants to see the whole movie, because I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, because they were going to show it, and then I think Dusty was being all uppity about it. Oh, wait, no. The bar was being all uppity because I was showing at, the doghouse. And there was sports on. Heaven forbid the planned event interferes with Dwayne's borrowing's sports. And it's like, we were the draw for the night. I think your 3 or 4 customers that were complaining because they couldn't watch their regular sports could have went the fuck home. I'm quite sure they got more tips from us on those nights than they did anybody else. Plus, whatever the bands were paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, wait, that was from Halloween?
Yes, it was Halloween, and it happened again during that punk rock flea market.
I know, it's like, wait a minute, it's like, because I just wanted clarification in regards to that, because the whole aspect of, with Halloween, it's like, wait a minute, you've shown movies with titties in them, and you're getting upset that you're seeing titties, because you're not watching sports.
That's what it was. It was because my buddy Travis at the time was actually working the grill for the event in the back, because he worked at the doghouse for a while. And he even says to me, he's like, the regulars keep complaining about the movies. And I'm like, how many regulars do you got? He's like, well, the bartenders and the waitresses are just getting sick of them. I'm like, how many are they, Trav? He's like, only about 3 or 4 guys. And I'm like, okay, and they're in here every night. I said, I get your clientele. I said, how many of these people aren't associated with those 3 or 4 people that are actually buying drinks, tipping you guys, and things of that nature? Oh, well, we're making a ton of money tonight. I said, I think your bartenders and waitresses could tell those guys to pound sand that the event's over tomorrow. They can go home and watch the sports. And then come back tomorrow and watch whatever they want on the TV, because this event has been planned for weeks. But that's why...
But my point still stands. It's like, wait a minute, most of the movies that were being aired had bare tits on them.
Yeah.
And you're bitching that you're not watching sports?
Yep.
And I'm willing to bet, this is going to come off as wrong, but Sasha, I hope you can agree with me. It's like, probably half those guys that were bitching that they're not watching sports could be these self-proclaimed manly men, that would probably insult you for who you are, yet they're the ones, I ain't watching my football or my baseball, and there's all these movies being played that have tits in them.
Well, that's why I made such a big deal. I don't know if you saw that one post where that guy literally sends me a message on Facebook, of all places, to proposition me. And I'm like, I don't do that. That's gross and weird. And number 2, why would you do this on Facebook? I've got screen grabs of it. And I posted it. And guess where he likes to drink?
The doghouse?
Yeah. And guess who said some nasty stuff to me in the past when I've walked in there? Him. But yeah, he'll send a message like that when his buddies aren't around. think about it for a second. Don't add up, does it?
No. But you know what I'm saying, it's like, I can make the case that, like, who doesn't like tits? I can make it so wrong. I can make that statement so damn wrong, and I could get in so much damn trouble for it.
Yeah.
But I won't go there. I will not. It's like I'll put a blank statement. Who doesn't like tits? And you all make your own goddamn arguments over it.
Yeah, because it is what it is, and I think what they did is that the bartenders were getting tired of the customers complaining, so they reached for the first thing they could complain about, since one of the managers is female. You get what I'm saying? So as opposed to catering to the guys who want sports so they can still look like men, might as well complain that we saw some tits and we're not okay. It makes us uncomfortable. It's a bar that has on occasion had wet t-shirt contest nights. Do you hear what I'm saying? Have had on occasion.
Yeah, I'm just
paint
trying to
your
remember.
paint your pumpkins night. Do you know about paint your pumpkins contest?
There's a meme. I'm sure you've heard of this YouTuber. Like her, hate her, whatever. Her channel. She goes by the name of Shoe on Head on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a meme that's floats around Facebook every now and again. It features her. On one side of the panel, one side of the photo is her saying, you shouldn't, in essence, you shouldn't wear that due to X, Y, and Z. And the other side is pretty much, how dare you insult what I wear. In essence, showing the hypocrisy. It's like, you shouldn't wear that because it makes you so too sexy. And, you also have the side saying, how dare you insult the way I wear, what I wear. Or
right.
To kind of clarify it even more, it's like someone wearing I'm not pointing out certain people, but it's like, if you want to wear a Hooters outfit because it makes you feel sexy,
go for it.
Go for it. But the thing is, you're going to have women say, how dare they, wear, a Hooters outfit.
Yeah, it's not on you. It's in your business. Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. You're, in essence, promoting, it's like, women should be women, and, if what makes them feel happy, let them be, yet you're bitching about what they freaking wear.
Because some people are crabs. You ever deal with a bucket full of crabs?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that analogy.
Yeah. They only happy tearing everybody else down, even though they all try to do the same thing. It's just how they are. If you all work together, you can accomplish a lot more. I'd rather help somebody out and straighten their crown than help them fall down. You know what I mean? Just how I'm built. Unless, they're a total asshole. Then I care less. I might even laugh. But, it just is what it is. It was one of those things where there was an event at a pub that has wet t-shirt contests, as well as paint your pumpkin contest, and they want to complain about boobs in a movie. Because the regulars complained that they weren't watching football. And yes, I properly enunciated that for the area. Watching. Not watching on football. It's like, dude.
They're watching them, their sports and that baseball and that football.
Yeah.
I'll watch a game of baseball and football every now and again, but if there's, again, to go back to my original argument, If there's tits on the screen, I'm going to be looking at tits.
Yep. That's human nature. That's where, like, horror movies big as
I'm going to feel like a creeper afterwards, but I'm going to be looking at tits.
Yep. Especially considering we know most of them. I thought it was funny. I went to the Remnants premiere. And it died laughing. Because my date for the night kept commenting about Monique and her physique, and I about lost it. Like, she's a good friend of mine, right? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know her. She's probably here somewhere. Would you like to meet her afterwards? She's been on my show a couple of times. This isn't like a regular movie, like a Hollywood blockbuster. This is something that's shot locally.
And the thing is, she is a very wonderful, wonderful person.
Awesome.
And it's like every time I've met her and spoken with her, either on the air or off, she is a very wonderful people. I don't want to say wonderful people, wonderful person. As I told George in our conversations, like I get this weird feeling that one of these days I'm going to go to an event and Tony Todd's going to be there, who is her brother, and I'm just going to go, say hi to Tony, meet Tony again, who again is he's an underrated actor, period. I don't care what people say, he's very underrated. And I could watch that man read Shakespeare all day long. I want him to have a podcast reading Shakespeare.
Make it better? Have him and Andrew Divoff with him. Because he's another one that's really cool. He's the guy who played the Dinge from Wishmaster.
Right.
He was also recently in The Strain, so.
It's like, I could say something on Facebook, or I'd mention something in passing to Monique, and I get this weird feeling that I'd say like, I've been, so nice to see you, Mr. Todd, and it's like, I'll get this weird, him just looking at, giving me a look and like, my sister told me you'd be coming today, and that deep bass of his voice of his, I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Divoff is an interesting guy to meet. He's a big supporter of like horror cons and whatnot, because there's not many outside of like Jersey, and I think there's another one, obviously towards like California area. And then I always love to support horror cons because it seems like everybody's doing their own small Comic-Con. I'm gonna try next time I'm up in Carlisle to talk to the guys up there, maybe get a Cumberland County Comic-Con started. Because there's a comic shop.
I will say this, in regards to Andrew.
Yeah.
I liked his method. When I found out his method in regards to Wishmaster, I really loved his method. In regards, like, I don't know if it was a commentary or something like tell you all something, a fact. For him to get that voice you hear in the movie, he ate a crap ton of gummy bears so he could get it nice and gravelly and deep.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, that is taking it next level right there.
Well, when he shows up in The Strain, he's only in The Strain for a couple episodes. When the plane first lands where everybody's dead, and before the Master shows up. Because I think he's one of the Master's first victims in the Strain TV show. I first didn't recognize who it was, and I'm like, this guy sounds familiar. And only in his death gurgle did I go, that's the Dinge from Wishmaster. Yeah, only when he's being strangled to death and dying did I catch that that's who it was. But yeah.
I probably would have recognized the face, but it...
Well, I mean, he appears so often as a human in those, just to save on makeup and time, but... Hell, I was shocked to find out that they have a completely different actor playing Harry in Resident Alien when it's in the alien suit. That blew my mind. Like, it is not, what's his name, in alien makeup, it is a completely different actor. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Alan Tudyk. It's not Alan Tudyk. It's somebody else. It's when he's in the makeup. Which is kind of cool. Makes sense. There's no sense in doing makeup over and over and over again. Just do one set of makeup for the shoot for the day and just let that person chill out. Because it's mostly just face and hand appliances. Still annoying, but still.
I still have to watch that.
It's good. It's good. It's not free at the moment. I'm working on a way to make it free. So, because I haven't watched the season finale yet. And Sigourney Weaver showing up midway through the season, I must finish. You know what I mean? Especially with her being a regular character in season 2. I must finish. Because she does show up, which is kind of cool. And that's an interesting plot point. And I don't want to spoil it for you. But
I'll
anyway.
get around to it. I'm just trying to watch so much right now and get caught up with other shit.
Well, you know it has to be worth it if Sci-Fi greenlights the second season.
That's a shock. Wait, they don't make it past season 2.
Yeah, you usually don't. So we'll have to see how well...
Call me back when they make it past season 3.
Okay. Well, didn't Warehouse 13 get past, like, season 3?
Yeah, they made it to season 4.
Hell, even Tremors the series, the original one, didn't get that far. I think it got one season and that was it. Which was a shame, because that's why we got Tremors 3 and 4. Because they were filmed back to back and then they just filmed the series. But it was weird because they couldn't get a lot of the actors from Tremors 3 back for the series. Which made no sense. I'm like, how does that go wrong? How could you not get Ariana Richards back from part 3 when she was filming the movie and not have her on the TV show? I'm like, that doesn't add up. Same way with the chick that played her mom. It's different from the movie to the TV show. I'm like, well, I know Ariana Richards ain't doing anything, but what's the mom doing that's more important than being this character continued in the TV show? Who knows? But anyways, I think I'm going to kill it here. Did you want to plug anything or throw anything out there outside of the Waynesboro Main Street Comic-Con?
Other than my show can be found in the usual haunts, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. I'm still on the long road to hitting the 100 subscribers on YouTube. I can be found just by searching Long Coat Mafia Podcast. And that's about it for right now. I'm working on, over the next couple of days, I'll be working on a few new videos for the channel, and plus probably shortly after getting off with this live stream with Sasha, I'll be working on this week's episode and posting it up. Yes, it'll be a retrospective, but it's in honor of in essence, the con that will be happening on Saturday, even though me and Sasha have kind of lightly bashed it a little bit. So
it needs bashed.
It's still kind of promoting it.
It needs bashed. It needs a little bit more life into it, and people need to fix it and arrange it. I just hope they learn from this one and grow. You know, I give them respect. I don't think I'm going to the fall one. But I'd be surprised to see if the fall one grows. Just me.
Right.
But anyways, that, of course, was a very impromptu Sasha After Dark. We covered all of our topics. You can find me down below. Definitely check out the GoFundMe and the Discord if you want to learn more. And, of course, the description, of course, will have links for everything. And I'll put your links on there as well, Chris. So, until next... Yep, hey, anytime. And until next slime, keep it real, take scare, unpleasant screams. And we are out. I think.